Okay, this one is what I was talking about. I'm going to show you how I made the ceiling part brown with the lights. So basically this time I'm going to show you how to make a path that will be a selection, and how to use the eyedropper tool, and change a couple things on the layers that helps. And that's basically it. But this is a very basic, so we're not getting anything too crazy here, but this will help, especially since you're doing a lot of rooms and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna want to use the pen tool first, because we're going to select just the ceiling, because that's the only thing that we want to affect. So we don't want to like try to color in, you know, like this, because you're not gonna get a nice edge. So we're going to just select the area we want to work with. Okay, so you're going to get your pen tool, which is right over here and looks like a little calligraphy pen. Your tools might be in a slightly different order. I know on my work computer they're in a slightly different order, but it looks just like a little pen, and it's going to have some other things with it. So you want the one that's just the plain pen tool. So you're going to get that, and it looks like this. This will help also if you zoom in, because you're going to need to be close to what you're seeing. You need to be close to. So I'm working on my laptop, so it's a little different. So basically, all we're going to do is draw a square around this ceiling area. So you basically go to where you want it to be, which is going to be this corner right here, and just click your mouse. Now you have laid down one dot, which is the start of your selection. You go up here to the next place you want to go, click it again, you've laid down two dots. You basically drawn a line. So we're going to go over here to this, click again, we'll go down to about here, and then we're going to go all the way back here. And you're going to see how it's a pen tool right now, but as soon as I go back to my original dot and go over it, a little circle comes up right next to the pen. That is just telling you you are enclosing your selection, which is fine. So click here, and now you see the turn off, and there's a real faint line there. Okay, but we also want these lights, so we're not done with our selection. You basically can draw it like it's a donut. So what we're going to do is go around these, because we're selecting the area around them. And essentially it's going to be like a donut. It will leave these holes. You'll see when the selection is active. And I'm just doing this real fast. If you hold your shift key, it will make your lines straight. These aren't exactly straight, but if you have a straight line, you can hold shift and it'll make it straight. Okay, so now we've got all our lights done and our ceiling done. And now this has all been working in paths, which is right here. It's just a little window. If it's not open, go to window, paths. And while you're working, it's called a work path. And you can kind of see there's like a little box here that sort of shows what I've drawn. So we're just going to click it twice, which all that is basically saving the path. If you did something and you had a whole bunch of different paths drawn, you could name it ceiling, floor, door, whatever. So if you went back, you wouldn't be confused. So we'll just call this ceiling. And now that's saved for good there. And well, if we didn't save the document, it wouldn't be saved, but it's saved. So now you're going to see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here again. So we're going to now make the selection active, which is this little circle right down here. It says load path. And when I click on that, you can see it's moving. Those are called marching ants, is the best way to think of that. And you can see it's marching in here, and it's marching there, and all the way around. So basically, if we right now went to it's our only layer right now, and said copy, paste, and then we turn off this back layer, everything that's selected is what we gathered there. So that's basically what it's doing. It's showing you that selection. So I'm going to throw that away right now. Oh, yep. Okay. So what I did was I made this selection, and then I'm going to basically paste in a different layer, and it's going to be just brown. And it's going to be flat at first, and that's fine. That's what we want to work with in this situation. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to select the color that I want it to be. You said you wanted it brown, the brown on that other photo, which is fine. You can select it from any other document. It won't make a difference, but just for this purpose, we're going to do it in this one. So you just go up here and get your eyedropper tool. It looks just like this little thing. And there's more in it too, so make sure you just get the plain one. Just a little eyedropper. And anywhere you go and you click your mouse, watch over here where the colors are. Right now, black is the color I would paint with. White is my background color. So right now, like, I'm going to go up here and change it to, I'm going to grab like here in this vase so you can see. But when you click, it just changes it just picks up that color and changes your foreground color to that. So we're going to pick up right here in the middle of this desk. Let's do it just a little lighter so it's up. There we go. Like right in there is pretty good. And again, this is just for your purposes. You can pick this up anywhere. You can pick up anything you want and do it from a different photo. You could go over and get the flower photos color if you wanted. So let's just get right there in the middle because we don't want too much of a highlight and we don't want it too dark. So that's good about right there. Okay, so now that's going to be our color. So we're going to say, go to our paths, turn on the ants. Now this part is selected. That's all we are going to work in. We're going to make a new layer. So you've got your layer palette open because we don't want to work on the actual image. We want to keep this as pure as possible. So we're going to make a new layer. It's just that you can call it something or you can just leave it layer 1. Right now it's blank. There's nothing there. But on this layer, we're going to go to Edit, Fill, and we're going to say Fill with the foreground color, which is our brown that we have selected. We say OK, and it filled in that space. So now I'm just going to click off my selection, and we'll zoom in again. And you can see, again, obviously right now it's just a flat color. And it doesn't, look right, and that's fine. But this is what we want to start with. Now, what you can do is you're going to turn this layer into, you can control how it works, each layer. So right now it's in normal, which just means it is what it is. It's a brown square. But you can see you can change this to different kinds, you could say, and do all these cool things with it. So for instance, multiply is the one we're going to use. I'm just going to show you. But it got darker, but you can also see through it a little bit. And then you can change it to screen, which doesn't work on all of the dark colors. And each one you'll sort of see does something different with a different color. See how the overlay changed it? And then like another one I use is you can lose luminosity and color. A lot of times we'll change it. But for this one, we're going to go with multiply. So it's going to be able to see through it. And actually, I think what I did was I went in and made that layer a different percentage. Like I think I made it like 95, 96, something like that. So you could see through it a little bit. And like, see, you can see the texture, this little square thing. Okay. And see, there's a good example right here where the highlight is coming through. And that's it's a little more natural. And this little thing is a little more so you can see it. So anyway, that is basically what I did for the ceiling. The only other thing I did was I put a slight blur on it because it kind of doesn't look too well. I'm going to show you another part of this, a mask part here too. But You can kind of see here it looks a little fake because it's almost too straight, and the photo itself is a little blurry. So if you go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and you can see how it got, I'm going to turn the preview off, watch the actual image. It gives it that hard edge if you don't have it on. So it's basically just blurring out very, very slightly the whole thing. I hardly ever use it at a very high level. So like I'm going to change that to 0.5. And now you can see it sort of looks a little bit closer to see how it's blurry up in here because it's just a photograph, and then down in here. So that kind of makes it give it a little bit of a more natural edge.